Okay, kumusta ang Sunday natin po? Kumusta ang linggo natin? I hope everything is running smoothly po sa mga buhay natin. Ang mga Filipinos dito po sa Malaysia, particularly dito po sa Sabah, as well as mga Filipinos, overseas Filipino workers din po sa iba-ibang parte ng mundo. And huwag natin kalimutan ang mga kababayan, kapatid at kaibigan natin dyan po sa Pilipinas. Kumusta kayo? Welcome na welcome kayo dito sa programa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. And today it's April 12 na po. And we are going to start a brand new working week tomorrow, no? Lunes, Monday po. So, relax na ba kayo? Ready na kayo for another exciting and sabihin natin, ano ito pa, exciting and exciting ba yan? Or mahal na weekend, weekdays natin po, no? Kasi mahal ang sabihin natin, ang bilihan, ang kuryente, ang tubig, ang mga bilihan dyan po sa Pilipinas dahil sa Middle East conflict, no? Although mayroon tayong 2 weeks sa temporary ceasefire and medyo problematic pa din yun po ang ceasefire po, no? Dyan sa or between America and Iran, no? And Iran po. Sana lang po we will be able to solve na itong problem. Yun pala mga birthday celebrants today, April 12 po, no? I wish allow me to greet you a happy birthday and may your birthday be a fruitful one po, no? And problem free as you celebrate ang okasyon ninyo po today, today. And lahat na yun, mga iba-ibang mga kapatid natin, kaibigan at kababayan natin who are celebrating whatever occasion you are celebrating today. Sana lang po this celebration will be a problem-free celebration sa inyong lahat. Okay? So, alright, dito tayo sa programa natin and today, Sabado or Sunday ngayon, kanina I went to attend my Sunday Mass, ang obligation natin bilang isang Roman Catholic believer. And after ang church namin po, no, ang dami mga Filipinos also, it's normal, a lot of mga Filipinos dito sa Kota Kinabalu, dyan po, especially dyan po sa Sacred Heart Cathedral namin, no? I attended the Mass, Mass at 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. No? After ang Mass, I met chismis, marites muna tayo sa mga kaibigan natin, mga kababayan natin, mga Filipinos po. And to my surprise po, ang dami mga kababayan natin, mga Filipinos, mga friends natin po, they approached me and asked, "Sir, alam mo ba kung nasaan si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos?" Sabi ko, hindi ko alam yon. Hindi ko alam kung nasaan siya. But ang alam ko na walang announcement ang gobyerno tungkol kung may problema ba ang presidente natin. Problema ba ang presidente natin tungkol sa trabaho niya, tungkol sa being Pangulo, mahal ng Pangulo natin dyan po sa Pilipinas. Walang announcement. I never hear or saw any news that says that may problema sa health ng presidente namin, so or natin. So I suppose, sabi ko sa kanila, I suppose na ano ito po, okay ang salud ng presidente natin and nandyan siya po, is doing his job. Although just recently nakita natin po sa social media that may mga news that si Presidente Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos together with the First Lady, si Lisa Araneta Marcos, pupunta sila sa United States po, sa New York ba yun? No? Sa New York. But nagiging controversial din yan po. Nagiging controversial. So now we don't know whether totoo ba he is out of the country? Totoo ba he is dyan lang po sa Pilipinas? Totoo ba si Pangulong, mahal na Pangulo natin is facing some health problems? So, let me warn you po, do not believe. Ang dami ngayon po mga fake news po, no? Fake news. Remember, this is our president. no? And anything will happen to the president, we will all be affected. No? We will all be affected. But I cannot blame also kung ang mga Filipinos dito sa Malaysia, no? They became worried about ang health or kung nasaan si President Bongbong Marcos, no? Because we are also concerned po. And walang notisya po coming from the administration, coming from the government about ano talaga ang sitwasyon ng presidente. Nasaan siya ba? Or kung may sakit ba siya? Or healthy na healthy siya po. Walang notisya. And we saw some social media posting ang video clips ni BBM, no? But again, as what I said, medyo Filipinos, they don't believe na authentic daw yan po ang mga video clips o retrato ni mahal ng Pangulo, no? So, we really don't know. Ako po, mismo po, I don't want to do any comment on this thing po because I'm basing ang whatever I say dito sa programa ko po based on official statements that coming from the government sa administrasyon ni Bongbong Marcos. So, let's just wait. But anyway, later on, we'll be talking about this thing po. So, so that you will have an idea, no? An idea po, no? And yun na po ang question din. Mayroon pa yun na isang tao nagtanong sa akin. Sabi niya, sir, totoo ba na acting president ngayon si Executive Secretary Ralph Recto? Yun pang issue. Is it true that the current Executive Secretary Ralph Recto is now the acting president? Yan ang question po. Sa palagay ko po, sa akin po, being a Filipino, educated Filipino po, there is no such thing as acting president ang executive secretary. Kung mayroon man, kung something happens to the president, no? The next in line, succession, when we talk about succession po, automatically it should be the vice president. And who is the vice president? It is Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. No? Yun po sa Constitution. So, Recto, if totoo, nasa outstation trip si mahal na Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, so normal lang yan po if the President appointed Executive Secretary Ralph Recto as the OIC or officer in charge po, no? On his behalf while he is attending an official function po. But if you are saying that he's now the acting president, yun po, I totally disagree po. I totally disagree. Based on the Constitution, ang basic ko po is sa Constitution because succession po, if something happens to the president, automatic ang vice president. Alright? So, we'll talk about this later on sa programa natin. But anyway, before we talk on this issue, I just want to pass a message sa mga kababayan ko po dito sa Pilipinas, sa Malaysia, especially sa Sabah, particularly dito po sa Kota Kinabalu. No? I just want to pass information na baka, no? Let's hope and pray lang po. But we are going to have a ferry service, from Lahad Datu to Bonggao next week. Next week po. Hindi pa yun na siguro, it's not sure. Because I was made to understand, I managed to talk yesterday, the other day, I managed to talk to the operator. I will not mention first the name of this ferry operator because gusto ko talaga po, kung confirm na talaga, na they will be given a license to ferry or to fly the route between Lahad Datu to Bonggao, then only I'll mention the name of the ferry operators po. But mayroon na tayo dito mga some detalles because I spoke to the manager of that ferry operator 2 days ago, and sabi niya, sir, we are going to have a meeting. We are going to have a meeting with the Home Affairs Minister on Tuesday. That will be April 14 on Tuesday. And the Malaysian government or ang Putrajaya or ang federal government already knows that itong kompanya po, their company is ready, mayroon sila ferry, and they are ready and very keen to operate the route from Lahadatu to Bongao and vice versa, or Bongao to Lahadatu. Maganda, this is a good news. It is a good news po because at the moment we are facing problems, no? Not only the deportees but also ang mga regular passengers, mga Filipinos, if they want to go home sa Pilipinas po or sa Mindanao, very specific, in Zamboanga or Sambasulta, Zamboanga, Basilan and Tawi-Tawi po, they have to use the route by plane from Kota Kinabalu to Manila, Manila to Zamboanga, and if they want to go to Basilan, Zamboanga to Basilan, Zamboanga to Holo, and Zamboanga to Tawi-Tawi po. So medyo malayo, long trip yun po, and very expensive. Pero kung matuloy na talaga itong ferry service, no? Lahadatu Dumongo, then it will really help. And at the same time, not only to the regular passengers, but it will also help is the deportation exercise of the Filipinos who have been arrested and temporarily detained sa mga immigration deportation centers dito po sa Sabah. We have 5 deportation centers, temporary immigration deportation centers in Sabah, and that is Lahadatu, we have Tawau, we have Sandakan, we have in Papar, and we have in Kota Kinabalu. At the moment, all these temporary immigration detention centers are crowded. Why? It is because last January, during the sea tragedy of Tricia 3, dyan po sa Basilan, nalunod, it was sunk, and marami din namatay. I think 60 plus din na confirmed dead, and hundreds were rescued. And because of that, the Philippine government conducted a thorough investigation, a probe po, to see kung may violations ba ang operator ng ferry, this Zamboanga-based Allison Shipping Line. And until now po, no, the suspension order issued by the committee dyan po sa House of Representatives, no, is still effective. No? So since January, I think third week of January, the sinking of Tricia 3, and after 1 or 2 weeks po, the Philippine government released the suspension order, and until now po, wala ferry coming in from Zamboanga City to Sandakan, because normally we have although it's not really regular, no, for the past few months po, we were happy because we noticed sana mayroon na po yung ferry services from Zamboanga to Sandakan, and they're doing it once every 2 weeks, no? To ferry, to get ang mga Filipino deportees sa Sandakan and bring home to Zamboanga City. But now, wala talaga po, walang a ferry from the Philippines. In other words, all the deportation exercises of for these Filipino deportees has been postponed and delayed na po, and they are there inside the detention center. No? Prolong din po ang sabihin natin ang punishment nila dito sa Sabah. Normally, when you are arrested or caught violating the Malaysian travel requirements, the government will slap you with 3 months jail, and then you'll be deported. But ngayon po, si January, if you were arrested last January, and January, February, March, April na po, no? And I was made to understand a total or almost 6,000 deportees, Filipino deportees, are now detained at the deportation centers, no? And of the close to 6,000, I was made to understand the Philippine Embassy in Kuala Lumpur has already issued a special pass, a travel document to these deportees so that they will be allowed to return back to the Philippines or to be deported. Mayroon na po a total of more than 2,000, 2,000 to 3,000 issuance of special pass. Ready to go na yun po, mga deportees, but unfortunately, walang transportation. Kawawa naman po. I've been looking into this situation since February and March po. Ayan, I was hoping that sana we will be able to solve ang predicaments ng mga deportees dito sa Sabah po, no? Before the celebration of the Chinese New Year last February 17. But unfortunately, wala nangyari po. And I continue on writing the story dito po sa local newspaper natin po to remind ang Philippine Embassy natin po, no, to do something para itong mga deportees po, they will be able to be reunited with their loved ones, with their families sa Pilipinas po on or before Hari Raya. But again, nothing happened. Again, nothing happened po. Wala nangyari. Kawawa talaga mga Filipino po, no? Sana lang po with this news that I have received, baka mayroon na po mag-umpisa na next week ang ferry, a new ferry applying the road between Lahadatu to Bongao. Sana lang po, no? They will also receive carry deportees po. Although ang accommodation lang po, no, ang capacity ng ferry po is only 300 400 lang po, no. Sana lang po maskin 100 reserved for the deportees, pwede na yun po, no, dahan-dahan po, no. Kasi human beings din ito mga deportees, Filipino din yan sila po. So I'm just hoping. And I was made to understand kung sakali in the event this ferry will be given a license, a green light from the federal government, then ang initial schedule nila po is every Monday. Every Monday, they will be leaving, departing ang Port of Origin, which is the Datu, at 11 a.m., and expected arrival at the Bongao Port in Tawi-Tawi after 6 hours po, no? Mga 5 o'clock yun po. 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. And the following day, the ferry will return back to Lahadatu po, no? Will return back to Lahadatu. Okay, question. Sir, magkano kaya ang pamasahe? Ito talaga, no? Pamasahe kasi, alam mo na, mahirap talaga ngayon ang pamasahe dyan sa Pilipinas. And dito din po sa Sabah, increase din ang mga presyo po. That includes ang gasolina din dito sa Sabah po, ang diesel, nag-increase din po, no? Para sa mga foreigners. Okay, I was made to understand by the operator when I interviewed him. Sabi niya po, our single trip, one-way trip, ang fare nila is 450 ringgit. 450 ringgit. And if you're going to purchase return, may discount kayo po. Pero kung hindi, 450 going to Bongao, and Bongao to Lahadatu is another 450 ringgit po. Kaya na lang po, sabihin natin, compute po ang exchange rate kasi fluctuating ang exchange rate. But if if you say about 450 ringgit now, so that will be 450, almost 6,000 na po pesos, no? 6,000 pesos. So let's see po, I will make sure na whatever updates mayroon tayo tungkol sa ferry, I will make sure po that kayo, mga kaibigan ko dito sa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico, you will be properly informed. So yun ang latest natin po sa what is happening, news para sa mga Filipinos. And before I will forget, wag natin kalimutan, itong mga foreigners, that includes sa mga Filipinos, if you are driving, you need fuel, diesel po, na tumaas na po ang presyo ng diesel and gasolina dito po sa Sabah, no? In fact, sa Sabah ngayon, if you're not a Malaysian, ang per liter is 4 ringgit plus na po. Noon is only 2 something, 2.15. Pero ngayon po, tumaas na dahil sa conflict dyan po sa Middle East. So, for the Malaysians, ang Malaysian government, they already announced that noon, mayroon silang quota, all Malaysians. Ibig sabihin, when we say about Malaysians, mayroon kayong blue identification card. Then, mayroon kayo a quota of, before it was 300 liters a month, subsidized price at 1.99. 1 ringgit and 99 cents per liter po. Gasolina yun po. Now, the latest announcement was that because of the conflict, instead of the 300 quota, quota consumption ninyo po for 1 month, 300 liters, now they decrease it to 200 liters na lang po. But parehas pa rin ang presyo, subsidized price. The subsidized price is at 1 ringgit and 99 cents. 1 ringgit and 99 cents. So Michael C. Papabero, Pababero, shoutout kayo po, and thank you for watching. I hope you are doing fine. Everything is okay sa buhay ni Michael. Thank you very much for watching. Nasaan ba si Michael? Sa KK ba? Sa Pilipinas ba? Or somewhere else? Alright. So yun, ang latest updates natin tungkol ang news dito po sa Malaysia, dito po sa Sabah, dito po sa Kota Kinabalu City, the only city. Alright, pupunta naman tayo po ngayon sa issue that I mentioned earlier. In fact, ang title natin dito po sa programa natin ngayon is about nasaan na po ang Pangulo, mahal na Pangulo, BBM, of President Bongbong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. A lot of people were asking, nasaan ang Pangulo? Because wala na po, they cannot see the President for the past few days. And sabi naman ang gobyerno, dahan-dahan kayo dyan po sa mga media o social media because we are going to run after those who post fake news regarding ang health condition ng presidente. And I totally agree, dapat wala tayong po sabihin natin fake news when it comes to the health condition of our president or any government officials po, especially mga those are holding top positions sa Senado at saka sa Kongreso, likewise sa Supreme Court natin po. So, ito po, mayroon tayong dito mga video clips po, 1 or 2 lang ito po, and just let me, I just want to sabihin natin, for you to see lang po, no? The first video clip that I'm going to share with you po is about file video ito, This is a file video wherein si Ate Claire, the Malacanang spokesperson, attorney at or Undersecretary Claire Castro, si Ate Claire po, very controversial din ito po, no? Dahil sa mga fake news. Now, ito video clip, she was interviewing si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos tungkol sa kalusuhan or sa salud ng presidente natin. But this is not sabihin natin, this is not the recent one, This is a filed video clip, I think last week ito po, Last week. So let me share with you itong video clip po. So, for you to have an idea, kung ano ba talaga ang sitwasyon ng presidente natin based on this video. Alright? Nandito po. Let's watch and listen to this.
Isang kalahating oras. So, para sa mga kababayan nagmamahal sa iyo, sir, kamusta po ang iyong kalusugan?
Ganun pa rin. nagpapasalamat naman ako sa mga nag-aalala sa akin. Huwag niyo po masyadong siniseryoso. Ano ba naman ang social media, palabiro yan eh. At wala po tayong problema. I am back to my regular exercise. I've been back to my regular routine for the last 3 months na ito na patuloy ng aking ginagawa. Watching usual, doing my usual, watching my health, making sure that I'm always ready to do the work.
So yung diet nyo, sir,
Oh,
wala na yun na okay na po?
wala nang bawal. Matagal na po na, more than 1 month na ako walang bawal. Actually, wala naman talagang bawal. Marami ng suggestion, iwasan mo yung potato, iwasan mo yung masyadong mantigahin, pero wala na yun. Hindi ko na masyadong iniisip na yun.
Good news po yan. And anyway, sir, mukhang may good news pa rin. Because in US and Iran agreed.
Alright, yun po. Nakita natin, narinig natin si BBM. But itong video clip nagiging controversial din po because there are some observers or criticism, those who watch ang video sa social media, they said, bakit mataba dyan po si BBM? So, kayong bahala po. I'm not saying anything. But mayroon din po, they criticize itong video clip and mga iba-iba pang mga video clippings na lumabas sa social media po, no? But again, I would like to say, ingat lang tayo po sa mga fake news po. Ingat lang tayo sa mga fake news kasi mahirap na po, no? Mahirap na po. And okay, mayroon pa rin tayo isang vlogger, a very known vlogger din dito po sa Pilipinas, a general. Ang title ng channel niya is General's View, no? Let me share with you ang content niya po, no? Ang content niya po, which I think is worthwhile din po, no? Worthwhile din na watching itong content ni itong si vlogger, the General's View. Let's watch and listen to this po. And then kayo na bahala. No? Kayo na bahala po.
Si A.S. Recto nakikipagpulong sa mga business leaders tungkol sa oil crisis. Yung tanong, nasaan ang Pangulo? Kasi nung una, nag-post sila ng mga pictures, videos na nagtatrabang Pangulo, malusog, ilang na booking ng ilang netizens dahil naman naman itong mga mainstream media na nag-focus ng mga pictures at videos, hindi nila tinitignan ng maigi. Nakapag-post sila ng video na kasama doon yung maong Secretary Juan Ponce. Hindi, nabuking sila. Ganon din si umalis na Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin. Kasama sa katrabaho ng Pangulo na malusog daw ang Pangulo. Eh, kung malusog, bakit mga old videos ang inilalabas? Kaya lalong naghahaka-haka ang taong bayan. So, agree ako kay Professor Malutikian na walang acting president na executive secretary. Nakalagay sa konstitusyon kung temporarily incapacitated ang Pangulo, ang Vice-Pangulo, ganun lang yun, kaya nga may Vice-Presidente. Malala ko nung naging Deputy Brigade Commander ako sa Mindoro. Brigade Commander, parang Presidente yan. Ako yung Deputy Brigade Commander, ako yung Vice President. May mga panahon na wala ang aking Brigade Commander. May President. Kasi ako ang Deputy Brigade Commander. Ganun lang yan. Na-promote ako General. Ako yung Assistant J9. Ang J9 po, tungkol yan sa Reservist and Retiree Affairs. Yung aking boss, two-star admiral, nag-schooling sa Spain nata, more than 1 month or 2 months. Eh, ako yung assistant, hindi ko nag-take over as J9, acting J9, talaga.
na si E.S. Recto, yan ang inuunahan na lang ni Professor Manong Piquia na sundin ang konstitusyon. Kaya ang tanong na yan, ano ba talaga ang kalagayan ng Pangulo? So, hanggat hindi sila maglalabas na official medical bulletin, hanggat hindi may papakita ang Pangulo na yung live, kasi yung in-interview siya ni Claire Castro, maraming nag-aalahanin doon yung interview. Kahit yung araw ng kagitingan, noong April 9, maraming nagbubuga sa mga inilabas na picture or video. Kasi matapang ang Pangulo. Matil kasi yung April 9 this year. Eh, ang nasa isipan ng taong bayan, pumapayat na siya. Dahil nga sa kanya sakit na diverticulitis. Ito rin, naawa ko sa Pangulo dahil sa kanyang interview o sa payag ni Ate Claire, limitado yung pagkain niya dahil hindi siya basta-basta makakain na. Kumain siya ng masubrahan o bawal, sumasakit ang kanyang tiyan. Ay nakakawa yun. Kaya nalangin ko sa Panginoon, Lord, kahit wala akong pera, basta wala akong sakit.
So yun po, nakita natin po. Thank you very much. May puntos din si General's view when ang content niya po regarding itong issue na po, no? But again, I would like to remind sa mga viewers ko po, no? Ingat kayo sa mga fake news po, especially when it comes to the health of our president po, no? Because kung sakali may problema ang presidente po, later on I will touch on this thing, no? Wait for the announcement of the official announcement coming from the government po, no? Ingat lang tayo po. So talking about the acting president, hindi yun totoo po, no? Because yes, siguro kung totoo man na wala sa bansa natin si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos ngayon po, so OIC is Executive Secretary Recto, no? Recto po. So wala yung problema, but is not acting president kasi it cannot be. The only government official who can be an acting president is the vice president based on our 1987 Constitution. Okay, mayroon tayong dito video clip. Nag-explain din po ang former spokesperson, Malacanang spokesperson po ni Bongbong Marcos, and now a very strong supporter of sabihin natin Sara Duterte or mga Dutertes po, and I'm referring to Attorney Trixie Angeles po, no? And nandito po ang explanation niya during her luminous program just recently po, and maganda din dito po to hear ang mga statements made by Attorney Trixie Angeles. Nandito po. Let's watch and listen to this. Lawyer yon, and may authority din siya. He is an expert sa law din. Sandali po.
Acting president na sinasabing designation daw ni Secretary Ralph Recto, ni E.S. Ralph Recto. Right off the bat, sasabihin na natin ngayon pa lang, wala tayong nakitang appointment as acting president si Secretary Recto, si E.S. Recto. Wala po tayong nakikitang ganon at wala pong announcement sa media, wala rin pong announcement ang ating PCO. Bakit kumaragsa yung balita na ganon? Ang tingin ko, somebody made a mistake somewhere. Ang itinalaga na in charge ni Pangulo, may mga nagsasabing itinalaga si E.S. Ralph Recto ni Pangulo pending his trip or during his trip, alleged trip to New York. Okay, so ang dami ditong patong-patong. Number one, is the president in New York? Was there an announced travel? Wala sabi daw ni Undersecretary Claire Castro na papuntang New York yung mag-asawa. However, pinapulaanan na ito ng ilang mga nag-post na nagsasabing yung kinote na video na yon ay luma. So, we have no announcement that the president is abroad. Okay? If the president is not abroad, there is no need for a caretaker or anything like that. Bakit caretaker lang kung presidente abroad? Because he is not incapacitated. Hindi po kailangan ang vice-presidente ang mag-take over at may president na po yun. Kahit nung panahon ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, hindi po vice-presidente ang itinatalaga pag abroad ang Pangulo. Okay? Abroad does not equal incapacity. Okay? Now, hindi ko alam kung sino ang nagpasimuno at nagsasabing acting president daw si E.S. Alfredo. Wala pong ganon. May nag-isip siguro na since siya yung nilagay in charge, acting president siya. However, sabihin na natin dito, and as forcefully as possible, ang terminong acting president nakikita yan sa saligang batas. Maaaring itataka ang vice-presidente and only the vice president bilang acting president kapag ang Pangulo ay temporarily incapacitated. Okay? It's not about what he knows, Ma'am Teresa. It is not about what he knows, what he does not know, or anything like that. He cannot be acting president. Bakit? An acting official dispenses or exercises all the functions of the official that he is acting for. So kung acting secretary ka, secretary, lahat ng duties, responsibilities, powers, and mandate ng secretary ng kalihim ay pwede mong gawin. Kung OIC ka, hindi lahat. Posibleng day-to-day functions lang. But you cannot exercise the discretion given to the secretary. Okay? Same with the president. Pwedeng caretaker. Nag-a-assist si ES. Si ES pwede ang pumirma on behalf of the president. Halimbawa, ng mga executive orders and so on kung itinalaga ito ng ating Pangulo. Kung delegated function yan. Pwede yan. And pwede rin yan temporarily. Pwede yan, si ES ang pumipirma ng mga EOs in the absence of the president. Absence meaning nagta-travel siya and so on. So, ulitin ko, wala po tayong nakikitang designation kay ES Alfredo na siya po ay acting president.
Alright, yun po. Klaro-klaro po. Narinig natin na hindi siya acting. Pwede din normal lang yun po. No? And it happened already during the time of former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Naglabas siya for official trip and delegated ang next person or kung kanino na he trusted to be the acting to be the OIC po, no? OIC in his absence po. So yon ang question whether si Executive Secretary Ralph Recto is the acting president. Hindi yun po totoo unless mayroon official sabihin natin announcement made by the government, of which I doubt it can they are going to put such thing na, no? Hindi yan pwede po because based on the succession, ang lang po, ang vice president is the one who can be the successor po. Punta naman natin po dito, knowledge lang tayo tungkol dito po, no? Sabi natin grabe ito po. Sandali po. Sandali. Let's let's talk about itong sitwasyon acting na po. Based on the Philippine Constitution po, no? Mag-base tayo sa Philippine Constitution. Based on the Philippine Constitution, the Vice President, Vice President, ibig sabihin, in this situation now, si Vice President Inday Sara Duterte is the rightful official who will assume the presidency upon the death. Death po, permanent disability, removal from office via impeachment po, removal from office via impeachment or resignation of the incumbent president. The Vice President also acts as President if the President-elect fails to qualify or if the President is temporarily unable to discharge his duties. Yun po. When we talk about, ano naman ito mga permanent vacancies, when we talk about permanent vacancies, if the President dies, resigns, is removed via impeachment, or becomes permanently disabled, the Vice President becomes the President to serve the unexpired term. Ano lang yan po, ang vacancy ng post ng Presidente, kung namatay, nag-resign, or he was impeached, and mayroon siyang permanent disability, then only ang Vice President will come in. Now, when we talk about the temporary incapacity, no? Anong ibig sabihin niyan po? It means that if the President declares in writing that they are temporarily unable to perform their duties, the Vice President serves as the acting President until a written declaration to the contrary is made. Dapat may sulat, official writing. Failure to qualify. Anong ibig sabihin yan po? Ibig sabihin, if the President-elect fails to qualify for office at the beginning of the term, the Vice President-elect acts as President until a President is qualified. Alright? Now, let's talk about the Vice President is the first in the presidential line of succession. Huwag natin kalimutan niyo po. Under the Constitution, the first person in line for succession is the Vice President. The succession rules are outlined in Article 7 of the 1987 Constitution of the Philippines po. Huwag natin kalimutan. If both President and Vice President cannot serve, kung dalawa na sila po cannot serve, the President of the Senate or the Speaker of the House act as President. Kung sakali hindi pwede ang Vice President, so next in line is ang Senate President. Kung sa atin pa yung ngayon po, based on our mga officials natin sa gobyerno, si Vice President Inday Sara Duterte, kung hindi pwede si Inday Sara Duterte, then si Senate President Tito Soto. And then, kung hindi pa pwede, ang Speaker of the House po. If the Vice President is elected as a President and has served more than 4 years, they are disqualified from running for the same office. Pero sa atin ngayon po, it is, ano na yun po, hindi ba? 6 years. 6 years na po. So, yun ang rule of succession dyan po sa Pilipinas po based on our Philippine 1987 Constitution. So wag natin simply believe itong mga fake news, mga rumors, mga marites saying that si Executive Secretary Ralph Recto is now the acting President. Is the acting President. Wag natin let us not believe po. Hindi yun totoo po. Let's follow the Constitution. But so far, wala naman reaction coming from ES Recto. So, we just leave it like this lang. But, ang problema lang po, maraming mga haka-haka po. That's why we want to make it clear to the public. I want to make it clear sa mga Filipinos po dito sa Sabah na ganito ang sitwasyon. Alright? Sunday na Sunday, relax lang tayo po. And let's prepare para bukas another exciting and exciting, ano pa ba yun, ha? Exciting and expensive working week na naman tayo po. So, with this, siguro hanggang dito na lang ang programa natin muna. Ang Nick Doc, The Real Talk with Nico. And I just want to pass an advance happy birthday to a friend of mine who is always watching sa programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Next week po, he will be celebrating his birthday. April 14 po, si Danilo Retorta dyan po sa Zamboanga. Likewise, I'm very happy and wishing all the best and good health, not only to Danny Retorta but also to my daughter, si Saint Fabian, who will be celebrating her birthday also po sa next week po, no? Sa April 16. And lahat kayo po who will be celebrating ang birthday today and during the week next week po. So, with this, si Nico once again would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all. I'll see you in my next episode. Bye. You take care and I love you all.